I need help. So I ran into a huge roadblock with the 95 Civic. This thing will not start. So as you guys can clearly hear, it's a crank no start, and I just can't seem to figure out why. So for some reason, the D15 in this thing just can't seem to get enough spark to crank the engine over. So how I pointed my finger on the fact that this thing's just not getting enough spark is because I grounded one of the spark plugs to a bolt on the intake manifold, cranked the engine over, and it was getting a weak yellow volt. First thing I went ahead and did was check the spark plugs, and they looked like junk. They were dirty, so I replaced them. I also replaced the plug wires too, because the plug wires I had on before were cheap Amazon $20 ones, and those are known to fail quickly. So I just went ahead and jumped to conclusions and assumed it was that. So as you can see, the cap on the distributor is slightly lifted off. And as you guys know, that these engines are infamous for oil leaks. And at the time, I was having a pretty bad oil leak on the distributor side. So I assumed some oil had gotten into the distributor and ruined it. I even took it apart, cleaned it out, put it back together, and it still wouldn't crank over. So I just went ahead and salvaged a new distributor. And to my surprise, the engine still did not run. So I went ahead and added an additional valve cover ground, as you can see. Now, not only that ground, but this ground right here that connects to the chassis also got resurfaced to bare metal. And then I tried to resurface this thermostat housing ground as best as I could, as well as this ground going from the negative terminal. Another thing I went ahead and checked was that the timing belt did not slip on me. I realigned this timing belt 3 different times, and the engine still did not crank over on me. I even adjusted my distributor as much as I could. And this is the factory setup too, all the way back. And it still will not crank over. So to all the Instagram mechanics, where would you guys look next? Should I look at the ECU? Should I look at the main relay? I don't know. Keep in mind, my multimeter is super cheap. It doesn't tell me how much voltage something is getting. It only beeps if it senses continuity on the probes. So where should I look next?